Hey guys, so today we're going to do SAT Math. And our topic is going to be radians and degrees. So, this is an important thing to know in trigonometry because you can either evaluate a function using radians or you can evaluate a function using degrees. So, we're going to learn how to convert between radians and degrees, meaning how to go from radians to degrees or from degrees to radians. So let's get started. Okay, so this is a fairly simple topic, and once you catch on, it is very, very easy to do. So, one rule. Let's look at the first rule. We have rule number 1. To go from degrees to radians, let's spell that correctly. You want to do the value of degrees you have, so degrees times pi over 180. So when you do this, you get a value in radians. Okay? So our second rule for this topic is rule number 2. To go from radians to degrees, you want to take your radian value times 180 over pi, and this gives you degrees. So let's go over our two rules again. Our two rules: degrees to radians. So if you're going from degrees to radians, you want to multiply the degrees by pi over 180 to get radians. If you're going from radians to degrees, you want to multiply by 180 over pi to get degrees. That's it. Alright, so what we can do now is just do a few practice problems. Alright, so let's say you have 180 degrees and you want to go to radians. So what we would do is, we would take our 180 degrees, multiply that by pi over 180. Well, 180 over 180. 180 into 180 cancel, and that just leaves us as pi radians. Let's say we have wrong spot to write. We have 2 pi radians, and we want to go to degrees. And to do this, we would do 2 pi times 180 over pi. This gives us radians. Degrees. So pi's cancel, leaving 2 times 180, and that is equal to 360 degrees. And that is pretty much all you need to know for radians to degrees and degrees to radians. Now, let's do a few practice problems. You can either pause the video on your own and do those, or you can watch me go through them. Let's get started. Alright, here we go. We have 3 problems that we can do that go from radians to degrees. So, we have pi over 2 radians, we're converting to degrees. So pi over 2 times 180 over pi, because our formula says that multiplying by 180 over pi gives us degrees. So the pi's cancel. This leaves us with 180 over 2, which simplifies to 90 degrees. So pi over 2 radians is 90 degrees. Now we have pi by 4 radians, and we want to convert to degrees. Okay? Pi's cancel. That leaves us with 180 over 4. Simplifying, we get 90 over 2. And simplifying again, we get 45 degrees. So pi by 4 radians is 45 degrees. Now let's go to pi by 8 radians. So we have pi by 8 radians, and want to go to degrees. So 180 over pi. Pi's cancel. That leaves us with 180 over 8. That simplifies to 90 over 4, which simplifies to 45 over 2, and that simplifies to 22.5 degrees. Okay, so now I think we've mastered the concept of going from radians to degrees. Now let's try and do a few practice problems that involve going from degrees to radians. Alright, here we go. We have 3 problems that we can do that involve going from radians to degrees to radians. Some of these problems might get a bit tough, so please feel free to use a calculator to solve these. Right? So let's get started. So 36 degrees, and we want to go to radians. So our formula says to go from degrees to radians, we multiply by pi over 180. Okay, this here leaves us with 36 pi over 180. And if you have a calculator around you, and you simplify 36 over 180, do not multiply by pi, leave the pi out. We get 2.2 pi, or we get 1 over pi over 5. So either one of these answers would work. Or even if you left it as 36 pi over 180, that would work as well. So now let's go on to another question. We have 75 degrees, and we want to go to radians. So we multiply by pi over 180. This comes out to be 75 pi over 180. If you leave this as 75 pi over 180, that is perfectly fine. Or if you simplify, you get 5 pi over 12. Either one of these answers is fine. And if you get a decimal answer, you would get 0.417 pi. Even this would be correct. So any of these answers are correct. Okay, so now we have 225 degrees, and we want to go to radians. So we multiply by pi over 180. So when you simplify this, you get 225 pi over 180. And if you simplify, you get 1.25 pi. Or if you don't like decimals and you want to go to fractions, you would get 5 pi over 4. So any one of these answers is acceptable. So that's all you need to know, and if you can do these problems, you have mastered moving from degrees to radians and radians to degrees. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.